GOP senator stands up and challenges Teamsters head to a fight in a Washington, AP. A congressional hearing devolved into an angry confrontation between a senator and a witness on Tuesday after Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma challenged Sean O Brien, the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, to stand your butt up and settle long-standing differences right there in the room. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, the chairman of the Senate panel that was holding the hearing, yelled at Mullin to sit down after he challenged O'Brien to a fight. Mullin had stood up from his seat at the dais and appeared to start taking his ring off. "This is the time, this is the place," Mullin told O'Brien after reading a series of critical tweets O'Brien had sent about him in the past. "If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here." The two men never came face to face in the hearing room, but they hurled insults at each other for around 6 minutes as Sanders repeatedly banged his gavel and tried to cut them off. Sanders, a longtime union ally, pleaded with them to focus on the economic issues that were the focus of the Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee hearing, which Sanders was holding to review how unions help working families. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than you or a United States Senator. Sanders yelled at Mullin at one point. Mullin, a frequent critic of unions, and the Teamsters head have sparred before. Earlier this year, O'Brien posted repeatedly about Mullin on X, formerly known as Twitter, calling him a moron and full of s after Mullin criticized him in a hearing. In another social media post, which Mullin read aloud at Tuesday's hearing, O'Brien appeared to challenge Mullin to a fight. "You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy," O'Brien had posted. The exchange escalated from there, with Mullin telling O'Brien that this is the place, and asking if he wanted to do it right now. "I'd love to do it right now," O'Brien said. Mullin replied, "Well, stand your butt up then. You stand your butt up," O'Brien shot back. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than when Mullin got up from his chair. Sanders yelled at him to sit down, banged his gavel several times and told both of them to stop talking. "This is a hearing, and God knows the American people have enough contempt for Congress. Let's not make it worse," Sanders said. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than as Mullin persisted. O'Brien retorted, "You challenged me to a cage match," acting like a 12-year-old schoolyard bully. The two traded angry insults for several more minutes. Each called the other a thug, with Mullin at one point suggesting they fight for charity at an event next spring. O'Brien declined, instead suggesting they meet for coffee and work out their differences. Mullin accepted, but the two kept shouting at each other until the next senator, Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, started her questioning by talking over them. After the hearing, Sanders called the exchange absurd. "We were there to be talking about, and did talk about, the crisis facing working families in this country, the growing gap between the very rich and everybody else, and the role that unions are playing in improving the standard of living of the American people," Sanders said. "We're not there to talk about cage fighting." Asked later about the skirmish, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell demurred. "It's very difficult to control the behavior of everybody who is in the building," McConnell said. "I don't view that as my responsibility." Republican Senator Kevin Cramer of North Dakota said that references were made to the back and forth in a GOP conference meeting after the hearing, but that no one should take it too seriously. "It's a dynamic place," Cramer said. "We don't wear the white wigs anymore." Associated Press writer Kevin Frecking contributed to this report.